All right, today we're gonna try and knock off legal aspects of a business. Okay, so this one is almost guaranteed that maybe a question or two might come on legal aspect of the business, whether it be insurance or contract or something like that. So we're gonna try and knock off this whole thing in one video. All right, so here we go. Explain the concept of contract. Definition and concept of a contract. So what is a contract? So a contract is a legally binding agreement between two or more parties. As simple as that. The keyword there is legal. All right. So the keyword is legal. So a contract is a legally binding agreement between two or more parties. After all, you can't have a contract with yourself, right? So a legally binding agreement between two or more parties. All right. Identify the types of contracts. So you can either have a simple contract or a specialty contract. A simple contract or a specialty contract. Now, what makes them different? Okay, what makes these two different? So let's look at some of them right now. So, contracts. Specialty contracts, also known as deeds. Each country has procedures for making a deed. So each country have different procedures under which a contract becomes specialty or a deed. All right, so it depends on your legal system in your country. But deeds must be in writing. So they must be in writing. Unlike the simple contract that it can be verbal or oral, a deed or a specialty contract must be in writing. They must be signed by all parties. They must be signed by all parties. There must be a witness. Well, in most countries, you have to have a witness. In most countries, these must be sealed, must be delivered, and in many countries, they must be registered. So, those are the simple differences between a specialty contract, a deed, and a simple contract. Okay, so those are examples of simple contract in a restaurant, traveling services, those kind of things. And specialty contract would be things like, that requires being signed, sealed, delivered, witnessed, all those kind of things. All right, so those are the major differences between those two types of contracts. All right, section 3. Describe the characteristics of a simple contract. Okay, the characteristics of a simple contract are offer and acceptance, competence of parties, intention to create legal relations, and consideration. Describe the characteristics of a specialty contract, signed, sealed, delivered. So it's all of this plus this. Okay, so that's the one of the key differences there again. It's all of this and including this. So let's go through what makes a contract something a contract. All right, let's see what makes a contract a contract. All right, good. So contracts. These are needed for a contract. So these are the characteristics of a contract. These are the features of a contract. All these things must be present for there to be a contract in the first place. So let's go. Offer by one party, acceptance by the other. So one person or one party makes an offer, and the other once the other party accepts, then that's a contract being formed right there. It's starting. It's in the initial stages. All right. Offer by one party, acceptance by the other, and then we start to work on the contract. Okay. But all these other things have to fall in place. This is just the start. Somebody offers something, you accept. That's a contract right there. Contract starting right there. Start of a contract right there. Now, other features of the contract would be intention to create a contract. So when the person make the offer and you accept, you're supposed to have the intention. You are supposed to accept the intention that you will create a contract. Same way, if you made the offer, you're supposed to make the offer with the intention that okay, I make an offer. The time that they accept, it's going to be a contract. So that should be your intention to make a contract. All right. So you should have intention. Then consideration. What is consideration within a contract? It means that everybody should benefit. Everybody should benefit in some way, shape, or form. So if you, for example, you're an athlete and you're signing a contract with a sport team, the sport team get you to use your skills where you get while you get paid for that. So that's consideration. Everybody happy, everybody getting something. So there's no contract if only one side is benefiting. All right, both sides must benefit in some way, shape, or form. That's what consideration is all about. Both sides must benefit in the contract. Okay, capacity by both parties to make the contract. What is capacity as it relates to a contract? Capacity means that you have the ability to enter a contract. Okay, you have the ability, you have the mental faculties to enter a contract. You can think clear enough to enter a contract. Capacity. So you're talking about your ability within your mind, within your mind, within yourself to know, okay, I'm about to enter a contract. This is a contract. You need to understand that it's a contract you're about to make. So that's what capacity is, the ability for you to understand that this is a contract, I'm about to enter a contract. But there are some persons who lack the capacity to enter a contract. For example, minors cannot enter into certain contracts. You have to use their parents. Okay, minors cannot enter certain contract because they are children. And for example, someone who is mentally ill, someone who's mentally sick cannot enter a contract. They don't have the capacity to understand what a contract is all about. So that's what capacity is. Genuine consent, as it says, everybody agree. Okay, there's genuine, everybody agree. There's no malicious thing, nothing behind it. Everybody agree. Same thing, good faith, similar way. You Good faith means that you have said everything in relation to the contract. For example, if you are selling a car and you're signing a contract, you would reveal everything that the other person needs to know about the car, so that when you buy the car, you know, okay, I bought this car with good faith, so it should be good for a good while. Or it was bought as is, so when you see the problems, you know that the person said as is might be broken, so you should expect that. So everybody's clear as to what each party is getting. So that's a good faith is, there's nothing hidden. Okay, that's why sometimes if you have a contract, you sell somebody something and then it pop up to be bad or something, you can go back and get your money. Okay, because you're supposed to tell them ahead of time. Good faith means reveal everything about the contract. All parties should be clear about all sides of the contract. Legality, of course, this means that the contract must be legal. Okay, you cannot go to court and say that, somebody paid you to kill somebody, and after you kill them, then you want to pay you the money. No, because that's illegal. That's not a contract in the first place. Okay, so the contract must be within the rule of law. The contract must be legal. If it's something to do illegally, that is not a contract. A contract is not formed. It must be legal. All right. The last one, possibility. What this is referring to is that you must be able to carry out the contract. Okay, you must be able to carry out the contract. So you can't go and sign a contract, say, let's sign, say I could fly 5 miles without a plane or anything like that. Like humans cannot fly, right? So that's not a contract to sign. You have to be possible. What you're carrying out have to be possible, or else that is not a contract. If it's something that's impossible to do, that's not a contract if you sign it, because there's no way, shape, or form that contract can be honored, because whatever you want to do is not possible. So all these are needed for a contract: simple contract and specialty contract. But the specialty contract now would have the added sign, seal, and delivered aspects of it. Okay, so that's that part. That is describing the characteristics of a simple contract and a contract in general. Okay. All right, number 5. Explain the conditions under which offer and acceptance are communicated. Very simple. Concepts of offer and acceptance may be written or verbal. As simple as that. All right, offer and acceptance can be written or verbal. So you can have oral contracts, you can have written contracts. All right, so you can have oral contracts, you can have written contracts. All right, so this is what I was talking about earlier about capacity. Who can make a contract? Capacity is the ability to make a contract. An adult can make a contract. A company can make a contract. So if you're a public limited or private limited company, you can make a contract. Minors can make a contract, but only for necessities or for education. So if you're going to school for education, you can enter into a loan and get a contract. Informal groups cannot make a contract. All right. Must a contract be in writing? No. Most contracts are not needed. Most contracts do not need to be in writing. An oral agreement is based on word of mouth. So contracts can be word of mouth. A contract may be created by actions of both parties if they indicate agreement. But it's always better to have the contract in black and white, have it in writing, so that if an issue arises, you have proof, you have evidence. So you should always try your best to get your contract in writing. Some specialty contracts must be in writing, of course, and we looked at that earlier. Okay, good. So let's look at 6 now. Let's look at 6. Explain ways by which contracts may be terminated or discharged. Terminated or discharged. That means come to an end or complete. Ways a contract can be terminated or discharged. So it can be terminated or discharged through performance, meaning you had a deal, you completed the deal, it's done, contract over. Okay, so you're on a sport team, you have a 5-year contract, 5 years pass, you played for the team, that's it, done, performance, contract is over. So that's the first one, when the contract is actually done. Then you can actually terminate or terminate by agreement. Okay, you can terminate by agreement where you and the other party may agree to either merge with a new contract. So you have one contract. This happens a lot in sports team. You have a contract, a year left on the contract. Then before the year is up, the management they said, okay, come, let's renegotiate, let's do over this thing. So you're gonna merge some of the information from the previous contract into the new one, and so that's one way you can agree to discharge or terminate the contract. All right, if one party is released from obligations, okay, if one person say, okay, you know what, you can't make it up to me, fine, contract over, go about your way, I go about my way, that's it, you release from your contract. Again, this happens in sports all the time, where a player might have done something out of the way or something like that, and they are released, or they're not performing, their play style drop or something, and they are just released. Okay, waiver, same thing. Again, sports teams, waiver. A lot of NBA players get waived all the time. All right, both parties agree not to practice, so not to proceed. So you go to practice, you're paying for the team scouts. You have a little 1 day, 10-day contract. You're not coming up to the standard. You realize that it's like, okay, I can't come up to the standard. You don't want me. I don't want. Okay, so all of y'all just agree. Okay, I gone this way. You gone that way, and that's that. So that's agreement. Now contracts can be terminated through frustration when the contract becomes impossible or illegal. Okay, when it becomes impossible or illegal, it might not have started impossible or illegal, but somewhere along the line, the contract became illegal, and then you have to be terminated through frustration. Of course, the contract can be terminated if one party breaches the contract. Breach means they do something outside of what the contract agreement was. Okay, so if the contract was to deliver, let's say, 10 pounds of potatoes to a certain supermarket, and you don't deliver any, then you would have breached the contract. You did not live up to your end of the bargain. So that's when you talk about breach of contract. I mean, you did something outside of what the contract said you're supposed to do. All right, the contract says you're supposed to do this, and you do the opposite, then you breach your contract, and you don't want that to be an issue. Okay. All right. So all these are ways that you can terminate a contract. Another way in which a contract can be terminated is through lapse of time. That is, that it took a long time, it took too long for a contract to be performed. So therefore, some contracts actually have it built in that after a certain time, then the information within the contract becomes null and void. So lapse of time means that time has passed and the contract just expires. All right, let's look at some examples of deeds or specialty contracts. All right, you have what you call the deed of poll. The deed poll used to change your name. Deed of gift to give land or property. Deed of family arrangement. Deed of easement give rights over land. Deed of partnership. Deed of mortgage. So all these are examples of deeds. And deed of conveyance used in most countries to buy and sell land. So all these are examples of specialty contracts or deeds. So you can just look at them, and if they ask for an example, you can list any one. All right, we looked at business documents earlier. All right, so why are documents needed? Why do you need business documents? Why do we need business documents? One, to create a clear permanent record of orders of goods. That's one. Payments due. Transportation of goods. When you want to see if they are, you track your goods online or whatever. So you need to know how, where, for traceability purposes, that your goods went, where they were, goods held in stock, and goods used. That's when you're in a company that has multiple departments and you have a production department. You need to know the goods that are in stock and the goods that have been used so that you can know when you're running out of inventory. So you can go and replenish your inventory. Employee work records, and there are many other purposes for documents. So you can easily understand this one. This one is common sense. Why do you need documents? And all these are examples among others. Okay. Why are documents needed? Managers must track business activity. The business needs annual, monthly, and weekly accounts. Records are legally required for audit, tax, and control of money laundering. National insurance records must be available. Records are needed on occupational health and safety, control of hazardous chemicals, and environmental issues. So all this again, you can simply use common sense for this one. Okay, you're in a business, you have documents. Why do you need documents? And all these are examples. Documents, record keeping, to know who owe you, who you owe, even budgeting, to know the annual budget or something like that. You need to know your stock, so you know if to bring in more stuff, or what is selling, what is not. So documentation is needed for a lot of things across a business, and this is pretty much commonsensical stuff. So there's no need to dwell on them any. All right, so 10. Looking at insurance now. So insurance is going to cap off the legal aspects of a business. Okay, legal aspects of a business. Now, some of the examples with these here are normally given in case study form. All right, and normally given in case study. They give you a case study, and you have to look and see, okay, what was the method of discharge types, concept. You have to understand the concept of discharge. So for example, they would give you a paragraph to read, and within the paragraph somebody might have breached a contract or something like that. So you have to go and pick out and say, okay, the contract was discharged by this method. So you might say breach or whatever. So this is what they have here for number 7. You have to get case studies for that. So that's a more in class, face to face kind of thing. Insurance. What is insurance? Insurance is a pooling of risk. Okay, pooling of risk. Now, what does this mean? Pooling of risk. Let's look at the example right here. A Caribbean country has 80,000 cars. In 1 year, 10,000 will be in an accident. The average damage is 3,000 US. An average driver has a 1 in 8 chance of damage, averaging 3,000 US. In most years, the car will be undamaged. If there is a serious accident, the damage can run to as much as $500,000. With pooling of risk, everybody pays an annual premium to cover the risk and gives security. So what does this mean? What this means is that if everybody have a similar risk, everybody's at risk for a similar thing. In this case, car accident or fire or flood or whatever. If you're at risk for a similar thing, you come together and you contribute your money to a pool. So you just put in the pool, put in the pool, put in the pool, which would be the insurance, and the money would be your premium. So you have to pay your premiums monthly or annually, so that if something do occur, you can just borrow from the pool that everybody would have contributed to. Okay, so if something happened to you, you would have contributed, your monies to the pool. So if something happened to you, they can pull from that pool to help you, and then you continue paying within the pool. All right. Now the problem would arise if everybody have a problem at the same time, which is highly unlikely, unless a hurricane passed through and everybody filed for flood damage or water damage at the same time. That's problematic because you have seen insurance companies buckle because of that. But on average, as he said here, only 1 in 8 drivers have a chance of averaging damage of 3,000. And in a serious accident, then the possibility is lower for one. So why not just pool our risk, contribute to a pool of money, premiums, and if something happened to one of us, you can pull from that pool to help that one person. So that's what pooling of risk is all about. All of us have similar risk, so therefore we put the money in the pool. So that's the insurance. The money is the premium. Put it in the pool, so that when something happened to one of us, we can pull from the pool and assist and help to compensate them for whatever they would have lost. Okay, so that's what pooling of risk is all about. We just have to go and look at some of these characteristics, okay, of on which insurance is based. So that's one, pooling of risk. What are the other ones that insurance are built on. So that's pooling of risk. Got that one. Then you have one name, utmost good faith. What is that? Full disclosure of facts. What does this mean? This means that if you're going to insurance company, let's say you're going for health insurance or life insurance, you have to disclose everything, all the facts that would affect this company. So if you're going for life insurance, then you have to tell them you live a risky life. Yes, that means the premium is going up, but also if something happened to you and you did not disclose what you were supposed to, you're not going to get the proper coverage that you're supposed to get. So utmost good faith means that you go and you tell them everything. If you have a pre-existing condition, you tell them, the insurance company. If your car had an issue, you had got an accident before, you tell the company. So they know exactly what they're working with. So that's what utmost good faith is all about. You have to disclose everything, all the facts, so that they can, assess it properly. Insurable interest means that the client must risk an actual loss. What does this mean? It means that you have to be the one, you who going into the office, let's say you're going to Sagicor, you who going into Sagicor must be the one who is going to lose if something happens to whatever you're going to insure. So if you're going to insure a car, it must means that if the car gets in an accident, it's your car, you own the car, so you are going to lose. You cannot go and insure someone else's car. Because if they get in an accident, they are going to lose and not you, and you expect to get the insurance for that? No, that's kind of fraudulent. So insurable interest here speaks about you have to be the one losing something. You have to insure your own house, your own car. You can't insure your friend's house or your friend's car. Indemnity. Damage usually limit to the actual value. So this one, insurance are not there to make you rich. They're not there for you to profit from. The main idea of insurance is you pool the risk and you're going to be compensated for whatever loss you would have suffered. So you're going to be put back into the position you were before the accident or before whatever happened. So that's what indemnity is all about. If I insure my house for $100,000 and I suffer some damages up to $100,000, that's what I'm gonna get, the $100,000. If you underinsure your house and you get damages up to $200,000, you're still gonna get the $100,000 because that's what you were insured for. You're not gonna get anything more. All right, so you're not gonna profit from it. You're gonna get the exact amount that is the value of what you lost. Of course, contribution, again, pooling of risk contribution means that you have to contribute to the pool. All right, with several policies, each company pays for a part of the damage. You have to contribute to the pool. You can't just go and claim insurance if you don't pay your premiums. Okay, proximate cause here speaks to that. Let me give you an example. If you insure your house for fire damage and your house get destroyed by flood damage, you're not gonna get anything because you're insured for fire damage. So that's what proximate cause is about. What is the real cause of the damage? Is it covered by the policy? So if the policy only covers fire and they get destroyed by, you know, water, you're not gonna get covered. And it goes even trickier because sometimes you have to decide, you have to understand which water we're talking about, because some insurance is for flood damage, but that's just a natural occurring flood. So you have a pipe bust in your house and you have damage, that ain't in it. That's not part of the flood damage. The flood damage is if rainfall too much and it flood your house. If a pipe bust in your house, that is not flood damage, so you're not getting that. Types of insurance. Let's look at types of insurance. You have general insurance, such as coverage against perils, such as traffic accidents, fire, medical expenses. You have vehicle insurance and those things. But then you have what you call life assurance. Now, life assurance, so insurance and assurance, what is the difference? Now, insurance is for when you insure against something that might happen, such as a fire, an accident might happen. You might go through your life and never get in an accident. It might happen. That's why you insure against something that might happen. Whereas life assurance, now assurance means that it's for something that will happen. Okay, life assurance means everybody will die. So therefore, that's why it's called life assurance. You're assured you're going to die. So therefore, you have life assurance. People put all under one category, insurance, but there's a distinction between insurance and assurance. Insurance might happen, assurance will happen, such as death. Everybody's going to die, so you have a life assurance. Okay? Now, other types of insurance, you have business insurance. Okay, you have
where you insure against, your cargo falling off a boat or getting lost or something like that. You have public liability insurance to protect you against, customers falling, wet sign or wet floor they falling and stuff like that. You have insurance to cover that. You have employer's insurance in case something happened to one of your workers. All right, on the job, you have insurance against that. Business business interruption insurance, where if something happened to stop production or halt business, you can be insured to cover the debt up to that point. All right. And then, of course, you have fidelity insurance and life assurance, as we just explained. All right. So that's it for insurance in a nutshell. All right. That's it for insurance in a nutshell. All right. Let's answer this last one here. Let's answer this last one. Explain how insurance facilitate trade. Now, this is very it's very simple to rationalize. Insurance facilitate trade, meaning, like for example, in the doctor profession, some doctors do not treat a patient unless they are insured. Why? Because if there's an accident or something, they can sue the doctor for all the doctor is worth. So because insurance is out there, the doctor now have some more confidence in going to do his job, because if something happens, he's covered by insurance. So it's the same thing here. How insurance facilitates trade. All right, it lowers the risk of doing something. If you might lose some money, then you insure against that, and then you go. So it lowers the risk. It lowers what you might lose. All right, so you buy something expensive, you think somebody might steal it, you can insure against theft. So if it does get stolen, you can be compensated. All right, if you're ordering something, you come in by boat or plane, you put the insurance there in case it gets damaged, you're going to be compensated. So insurance reduces the risk associated with business all in all. That is why it facilitates trade, because it gives you more courage to go out and do what you have to do, knowing that if something happens, you are going to be covered by the insurance. All right. So that's it for that section, this section of the syllabus, section 4, legal aspects of business. Very simple, very straightforward. Now the case studies would have been the issue, would have been a little more difficult to discern. If so I'll try and look for one and see if I can get one done. But that's it for now. So hit the like button and of course the notification bell so that when other videos drop.